afternoon, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this afternoon. Is my mucker Fox. Afternoon, Fox.
Afternoon. I think this is my seasonal debut, is
it? It might be, mate. Yeah, it might be. How's the pre-season been for you?
Aye, it's been good, mate. Full of drink and happiness.
Good, mate. I think you've got the team for us.
I have indeed. The team today is McGregor in goal, Patterson, Goldson, Balogun, Barisic. A midfield three of Kamara, Lundstrom and Aribo. And up front we have Wright, Hadji and Morelos. On the bench is John McLaughlin, my captain James Taverner, Bassey, Davis, Bakuna, Ruth and Fashion Jr.
Loads of talking points, Fox. Obviously we'll go with the one that Goldson back, which gives us strength of our team at the centre back position. Obviously young Nathan's come in at full back, which will be a talking point, and then Davis coming at the team, Lundstrom coming in and playing in that anchor role with Kamara and Aribo either side. And then I would say, what do you think? Right and the left, Hadji in the right, and Morelos through the middle, mate, yeah?
Aye, that sounds about right. I'm very, very happy to see Goldson back. I think he's a rock at the centre of defence. Badly showed up how much we missed him in the last game. And I'm quite happy in a way to see Patterson getting a game, but I'm shocked that we drop our captain in a big game like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't know what the issues are or whatever it is, but obviously you think it's no an injury because you're on the bench, but football's changed. You maybe get 20 minutes or something, you get that many substitutes. Positive team for you, Fox?
Again, it's a chop and change team. Take it to do with personal circumstances at the club. Quite interested in the Hadji Morelos partnership. I like Wright because he turns with the ball and runs with it rather than Ruth, and who tends to stand and wait in the ball. Hadji, you know yourself, can blow hot and cold, but can produce moments of magic. And Morelos, we need to get back to scoring goals.
Hadji reminds me a lot of yourself, mate. When he's hot, but when he's poor, he's poor.
There's not much I can say to that,
Right, I think we'll get these phone lines open, see if people want to give their thoughts on the team, because that's 6 changes for Thursday night, eh?
Well, it's been like this all season, between COVID and injury. I don't think the manager's been able to put out his strongest side at any time this season. But we'll just need to hope he's cobbled together a decent-looking side here, and it'll be a very hard tie this day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Biggest league game of the season so far for you, Fox?
Well, I have been keeping an eye on the rest of the teams in the Premier League, and they do look the most exciting team that I've seen this season. Strong at the back, decent in the midfield, and very fast up front. So it'll be a challenge today for us.
All right, we'll get these lines open, so let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I don't think anybody got that team right in the build-up to the game today. Thursday and Friday night. Friday night. 6 changes. Obviously, we didn't know Goldson would be back, but that gives us a bit more solidity. Hopefully, he's fitting well, mate. If there is issues, yeah.
I hope so, mate. As I say, he is a rock at the back. Although he comes in for some criticism, I still think he's the best centre-half at the club. Some people say Hollander, I say Goldson.
Well, I would say that Goldson's maybe the better player, but Hollander a more natural defender, mate, if that makes sense.
Well, I think it's touch and go, mate. I still think Goldson's a very good centre-half, and I don't think he lets us down at all. Be interesting to see the combination between him and Patterson today on the right-hand side, because we're going to come up against some speedy players today.
Do you think they'll open up and play the same game as they've been playing all season, Fox, or do you think?
I think they fancy their chances in coming to Ibrox. I think I read and I checked the records there. They've no won since beat us in the league since November 2015, and that was in the Championship. Although there has been cup games in between, of course.
They no beat us the first game when we came up with Warburton when Morelos was. That gets sent off, yeah.
Well, I maybe have to check my facts. Maybe the bit I was looking at got it wrong. So,
when Ryan Jack gets sent off, I'll check when that was for you, Fox. But
might have been a cup game.
No, it was 3-2. They beat us in the league, you know. But I'll check when that was, Fox. But interesting team. Well, I'll say it again, Fox. If we play, we win, and I've no doubt in that. We're too good for these teams, but we need to play, mate.
Of course we do. It's been a kind of stop-start effort this season. Nobody's been able to put their finger on what exactly is the missing link ups. Same sort of group of players, but just haven't knitted together this season for some reason whatsoever. I've watched them in training. They all look good in training. Quick passing balls when they're doing their routines. But when they go on the park, it just seems to fall apart.
To me, there's a lack of confidence, Fox. I know that's simplistic, but that's the way I see it, you know.
I think a lot of wind was taken out of our sails, mate, when we failed to qualify for the Champions League. I don't think MD's taking that into consideration. That was a big blow to the players. A lot of them were really, I take it, really looking forward to playing in the Champions League. And to go out to Malmo was a big blow to their confidence, I think.
I was right, Fox. They beat us 3-2 at home. Kachina was the manager. 2017, mate. Foderingham, Tav, Cardozo, Hodgson, Alves, Ryan Jack, Graham Dorris, Windass, Candias, Kenny Miller and Alfredo. 6 booked, 1 sent off, yeah?
Well, I must have been drunk that day.
You were, because I was with you. Right. But I just think when I got that team, I'm glad to see Golson back. I think you're right. It's positive for us. Hopefully, last week's performance was due to something that he's been dealing with, either physically or an illness. Put that behind him. He's moved on a lot fitter, and then proves to the standards we know he can play. So I think a lot of people are looking forward to seeing Patterson as well, Fox.
Well, there's big expectations from the support. If you read the forums and listen to other podcasts, mate, that they think Patterson should be ahead of Tav. He needs to prove it today in a big game, and that's what we'll wait and see. The other thing I'm not very pleased about is the dropping of Stephen Davis. I don't think his age or anything that has got anything to do with that man. He's a total professional, mate. Probably the most consistent player we've had there the last 18 months. And I don't know why we keep dropping him and blaming his age for it, because he's fit as a fiddle. What do you think of that?
I get what you're saying. I think he's part of our issue, mate. I think he's playing too deep. I think that's part of the problem when he gets up. He's got the guys up front, and then he's only got the 2 midfielders in front of him. I think he should be 20 yards further up the park, and the defence should have the ball where he is when we're in possession, Fox. Anyway, we'll be joined by Andy Phillips. How are we doing, Andy?
Good afternoon, Ox Fox. What was the team
Andy.
again there? Can you say the team?
Fox will give
the
you.
Team is McGregor in goal, Patterson, Goldson, Balogun and Barisic. Middle three of Kamara, Lundstrom and Aribo, and up front right, Hadji and Morelos.
Right, so I got Patterson and I got Hadji right then.
Right,
there you go. No, I'm not far out. I think there's 2 or 3. I had Barisic right enough. But
you only get a prize if you get 100%. Don't come on and say out of 11.
I was just saying though, because I think I got banged out that Patterson, no chance, but there you go. He's in, so I just hope that he comes out and he has a good game and it don't fall flat on him right enough, you know.
We just want him to be the player we know he can be, and then you've got another option. Does he keep the shot, Andy, or do you bring your captain back, you know?
I think he's tried and tested right enough, but if you keep, you know, if he plays and he plays really well, it's a poser that's a good poser for Steven Gerrard to ponder on, isn't it? You know, hopefully we get out in the team. You know, we keep asking, don't we? You know, the incentive is there. I think they've been kind of mumping the gums a bit about the fancy the chances. So, you know, we've got to have one good game. So hopefully we're going to sort it out. You know, I've got a funny feeling it's going to be a draw today. You know.
Oh well, thanks for the call then. One for a Rangers victory, folks.
Well, just a gut feeling, but you know, I'm hoping. I'm trying to be a bit reverse here and saying to myself, well, I'm thinking that, but we're going to win, you know. But you know,
we need to win today, Andy. We
have to. Oh, we have to definitely do that right enough. I mean, there's got to be a performance in there, and like if you look back when we've blown up, it's not usually against the bigger teams. We usually stand up and go for them. So I'm clinging to that today, and hopefully that we can do that right enough. The problem is injuries and COVID. Like when you read that out the other night, that was that was staggering. Fact that the number of players that are not available, but you know, making 5 and 6 changes, which is forcing us now, that can't help the continuity of the team, neither can it. Let's be honest.
Well, I'm just hoping we win the day, and then we've not got again for a fortnight. Some people get internationals, and hopefully things calm down a bit. Anyway, we've been joined by Ozzy. Good morning, Ozzy.
Good morning, mate. How you going?
Good, mate. Your good self.
Yeah, going all right.
What do you think about the team? What do you think about the team?
It's an interesting team. I mean, was Tav's performance the other night, or is Tav injured, or was it his performance the other night?
He's on the bench, so we're assuming he's fit.
Yeah.
You can only assume that, yeah?
Yeah, so, I mean, it'll be interesting why Tav's been dropped.
Aye, I suppose that'll be the big story today, Fox, if that is the case. But, I mean, Tav's played back-to-back. He wasn't great at Dundee, and he was okay. He wasn't the worst player on Thursday night, was he?
No. As I've said before, Goldson and him tend to get the blame for everything that goes wrong at Rangers. He's either too far up the park or some winger takes him on and beats him, which happens in football. I mean, no every fullback wins the ball every time. And when he gets beat with a man, it seems to be a big inquisition. Whereas if you look at the other side of the park, the fullbacks are beaten very regular with wingers. It's probably because he's my favourite mate that I stick up for him, but I'm glad to see Patterson getting a shot, to be honest with you, because he either proves today that he's went past Tav or he doesn't, and this debate must be answered, and this is a day for it to be answered.
Yeah, I agree.
But the way Patterson will keep the jersey is if he performs, Andy, innit? Gerrard's get some. Let's just say we win and Patterson's man of the match. Let's give the gaffer a selection issue, innit?
Yeah, well, that's what I just said there, right enough. I mean, let's say that scenario happens then, right? And what do you think he would do?
I think you've new. There's always a changing in the guard at some point. Whether that is it happens through injury, a knock, somebody getting a knock in football, it's just your luck, you know. You look back to Derek Johnson getting in the team all 8 years ago because I think it was Alfie Conn who was injured. I think it was Alfie Conn, and he got in the team, and the rest is history. So look, there's a lot of luck involved. Patterson's an internationalist now. He's been about for about 18 months. He's been running about the first team squad. A change in the guard. If he's man of the match, hypothetically, we're saying that, I'd say he keeps the jersey. I mean, you've got to be fair. I don't know, but he's got to do it first and foremost, Fox, isn't he? Then Ozzy.
Yeah, he's got to prove that he deserves the jersey, and This is, as we say, it's a big debate amongst Rangers fans at the moment. I'm hoping the boy plays very well. If he comes and takes Tav's position, fair enough. That he may need to be a really good player then. He's really shown in some starts that he's had, but he's doing it on a consistent basis for me, whereas Tav has been regularly good over the last couple of seasons. And he is the captain after all. No many managers would drop their captain.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe he's went for more pace. Because Patterson's definitely quicker, was he?
Yeah, he's definitely quicker. It just means Patterson needs to really stand up and grab a hold of that jersey today. But the other selection I'm a bit surprised about is Janino Buchanan on the bench. I mean, he was substituted 35, 40 minutes into the game on Thursday, and he had ice on his.
He played about 75 minutes, didn't he?
No,
sorry, Bacuna. Sorry, no Fashion Sakala. Sorry, mixed up. Bacuna. Aye, well, obviously, we're a bit short, so the fact that he's on the bench, you might be just keeping a seat warm and for emergencies. That's the only thing I can think of, Ozzy, yeah.
But I mean, why not put someone else on the bench? I mean, what about Stephen Kelly?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Foxy? Oh.
Aye, Stephen Kelly's been about the first team squad all season. Looks to be a bright young prospect, but doesn't seem to be getting a chance in the team. I'm quite surprised at that. I thought he'd have got minutes at the end of games throughout the start of this season, but hasn't really showed. I think he said one appearance, is it? One? But I thought he looked a good young player.
From Fairmont, I think he played. That's the only time in it. From memory. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what it takes us. What about the blend up front, Andy? Hadji, Scott Wright, who's not played that much lately, but he's in for the start. Big game for him. I hope he's not playing behind. I hope he's playing wide.
Yeah, I'd like him to come and do his stuff on the wing, create some chances there. I'd like to see Morales coming further up instead of where he's been now. I think we've lost that scoring power off him right enough. He's a striker, and I want him in the place where you put the ball in the rigging. But he's got to turn the pace, but I think he's gone back a wee bit later, the wee cameos he's had right enough. But again, that's all about getting game time. So, big game to prove himself. Hadji, well, I did pick him on Friday, and he did say to me on the last two games right enough, and you got a point there. I went away and thought about that, but he does have that little bit, and I think, the thing that we're asking for, shooting outside the box and all that, at least he will, if he gets a sight a goal at times, he'll have a go.
He'll shoot
and maybe, if you remember, he was the guy that got the goal when we beat the Minifield last year, 1-0. Hadji got the goal. So, there's little things, maybe teams, you get setting goals against, but like it happened with Motherwell. So, yeah, I'm looking for a big game out of Morales. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I think the time he stands up and shows a little bit more now what he's been doing.
I think Morelos has been fine, mate. I think the problem is we've not had the bottom. I don't know what you think, Fox.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. They should be further forward, shouldn't they? Where he can do his damage,
He needs to be fed, Fox.
Yep, feed the bear, as they say. Morelos has got to be in the box, mate, when the ball comes in. And coming deep to get the ball, as you've also pointed out over a few shows. Where's that noise coming from, Jim? Do you know?
I think that's I'll wait a minute, I'll stick it in there. It's my daughter's phone.
All right. That he's coming deep, but leaving the centre halves behind him. And he's not arriving back in the box quick enough for me. And also the big failing this season has been the inability of the midfield to produce chances for him, and the fullbacks if you add them in as well. Mm-hmm. He needs to go on the goal trail and needs to go on it quickly.
Aye, he started off when he came back. he scored goals in Europe, didn't he? He scored against Malmo, and then he scored against the team, I can't remember the name of the team they progressed against, but he's not. I don't think he's scored in the league yet. I'm not aware of that. I need to check that out. But you're right, but we need to give him more chances, Ozzy.
I mean, that's the problem that all the front have had. They've had no service.
I think a big failing in the team this season is for lack of movement. Ox, we're all right at coming back and picking up the ball and stroking it back to our midfield again, trying to open up space behind defences, but we're not quick enough to turn and move into this space. We seem to be very static, waiting on the ball all the time up front, whereas we should be moving in between their midfield and their defence and getting in behind their defence at times. That's the failure this season so far for me.
I just think we're being sluggish at times, Ozzy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the team. Is there a possibility we could play a 4-2-3-1 with Kamara and Lundstrom in the mid, and then in front of him, Aribo right and Hadji and Morales up front by himself?
It's a possibility, Fox.
Well, we don't really vary from the 4-3-3. I think with Michael Beale's tactics, it's about covering space and on the park, and certain players have got to be in the certain space where they're supposed to be, and that doesn't seem to work all the time. It worked last season for some reason, but teams have got wise days and know when to close down the space that we're supposed to be in, and that's why we're struggling this year. We do need a wee change in tactic as far as I'm concerned. Maybe no so much in our shape, but in our movement definitely.
I think we've been joined by another Andrew. Well, with the other Andrew's coming back in. It's Andy T. Crookston. Afternoon, Andrew.
Good afternoon, Ox. Good afternoon, Fox. How is things?
All right, mate. What do you think of the team?
I'm actually a wee bit surprised with the team, to be honest. I'm not going at the game today. Guys got really bad chest infection. But anyway, gear that a bye for the minute. Yeah, really. A bit surprised with the team. I don't know if Tavernier's been dropped or he's obviously been rested, has he? Because we're getting the international break. But the combination, I'm not really bothered about the right back. It's the front three that's a wee bit not concerning, but I didn't expect that sort of change with the front three. But Morelos, we need, it's a must win today. But I know we can't always keep putting the pressure on Morelos, but he really needs to get shooting boots back on. But it's a must win.
Cheers, mate. Thanks. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. Fox, there's people just joined us. Do you want to read out the team, mate?
The team today is McGregor in goal. Back four of Patterson, Goldson, Balogun and Barisic. Middle three of Kamara, Lundstrom and Aribo. And up front right, Hadji and Morelos.
Can you give us the substitutes, please?
Substitutes are McLaughlin, Taverner, Bassey, Davis, Bakuna, Roof and Fashion Jr.
So Bassey's on the real cover on there for the centre-backs, Fox, huh?
Aye, I was surprised that Simpson wasn't on the bench myself. I mean, it just shows you he's not got a lot of faith in Simpson for me. Maybe he just doesn't think he's ready. But also that maybe Bassey can cover both positions, mate. Centre half and left back. Maybe just gave him the nod on it.
Aye, I gave you a comment for there. Aye, definitely an interesting team. I think Aribo's in the team again. I think he must have played about the most games this season. I prefer him one forward personally. Ozzy, I don't think he does his best work in midfield. He's okay, but I think he's better one forward.
That's why I'm thinking there is the possibility of the 4-2-3-1 because Aribo would be then playing one up. So I mean, it's going to be it'll be interesting.
I think if you were having that, Ozzy, you would maybe be better with 4-1-3-2, where Lundstrom sits, Kamara, Aribo, and Hadji sitting as an advanced three in the midfield, and having Wright and Morelos up front. That would sound a lot more sensible to me. I don't know what you think.
I mean, all I want is to change it up a bit, because, as you said, teams are getting wise to us how we set up. So I mean, you change it up, you throw the other team off, and they've got to change.
Aye. Do you think there'll be a minute's silence today, Fox, for Bernard Tapie?
Maybe in France, but certainly not at Ibrox, mate. There'll be a big cannon there waiting on him. All the best for Armed Forces today.
Yeah, here, mate. I hope all the soldiers that went along the day enjoy their day out at the game. Andy, how do you see it going?
Andy or Andrew? Andy for Leeds or...
He's not here anymore.
Oh, I don't know there anymore, mate.
He's not on the call anymore. I don't mean he's up there off the planet.
Call. To be honest, it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. They're pretty mobile going forward. They're going to commit. They're obviously going to commit and go at us. Have a go at us. We need to be really, really switched on, and we've got to try and hopefully no go to. It's not imperative. We need to get an early goal, but a nice early goal or an early goal or two would really, really get the crowd going. And because as we've said many times on this show, we can be a money bunch after 30 minutes, and it's not going our way. And so.
I think that's a great point you make, Fox. It's about winning the game, Fox, first and foremost. Doesn't matter when you do it.
Aye, of course. A big part of Rangers' game is controlling the game. And we seem to mostly always find a way to beat teams. We might not look too good in the first half as we figure them out, but we eventually wear them down and usually beat them. This is a different game today. This is a game where the two teams will probably try to go at each other. So I think it's going to be an open game, and hopefully we are the better team and we take the spoils of the war.
That's very, very unusual for a game at Ibrox to be open, does it?
Well, games against the higher up teams, like the top three, top four, are normally more open games. So I mean, I agree with Fox there. Hopefully, it is a more open game, because we normally play a lot better in the open game.
Who do you see has been a big threat in the Hibs team today?
The boy's grabbing all the attention, Boyle, because he's quick, Fox. Yeah, I mean, if you've got one complaint about back four, they're quicker with Patterson in it, and obviously Balogun is pacier than some of our other options. I mean, obviously Simpson's one of our pacier centre backs. I don't think he's ready, as you said, but that boy's got pace, so pace always worries you, Fox.
I haven't seen the Hibs team today, but they usually play a kind of 4-2-3-1, where McGuinness and Newell sit, and then they've got Boyle on one side, Cadden on the other. I don't know if Scott Allen will play as their attacking midfield when Nisbet up front is usually their sort of role in the teams. They've got quite a sturdy defence.
There we go. Macy, McGinn, Porteous, Hanlon, Cadden, Allen, Doyle, Sage, Doyd, Newell, Boyle and Nisbet. Yeah. Substitutes: Wright, Godrich, Stevenson, Murphy, Dabrowski, McGregor and Scott.
Yeah. So it seems as though they're going to have a go, doesn't it?
Well, it looks that way. They've got.
Aye.
I mean, there's not. It doesn't look like a 5-4-1, does it?
No, it does not.
You know. So hopefully we get a decent game of football at Ibrox, Andrew.
Aye, let's hope so. Let's hope so. As you were saying there about an open game, and I hope it's an open game as well. I agree with Fox as well. I hope it's an open game, and I tend to think when it's kind of open, especially we've not had the much success in Europe, I know this year, but when open games, especially in Europe last year and the year before, more open games, we seem to raise our game, if you understand what I mean. So I think, it'll be an open game. They're going to go for it. Definitely, there's no doubts about it. And I think it'll be an open game. I think it'll be a good game, to be honest.
I think if we play, we win, Aussie. I think if we play, we win. Simple as that. You know.
I mean that's what you say, but I mean, have we played the last couple of? Well,
I don't know if we played this season, mate. If I'm being honest.
We haven't really played this season. So I mean, we haven't even got our first gear or second gear, if that. So I mean, hopefully it's not one of these frustrating games like we've had most of the season.
Okay. Talking about guys who never frustrate, we've been joined by George UK. How we doing, George?
I'm feeling dandy, lads. How's yourselves?
Good, mate.
Hi,
Good.
George.
All the better for you and your dulcet tones, mate.
Aye. I believe you.
It's true, mate. You always turn my frown upside down when you appear.
Oh, that's all right, mate. That's good to hear now, you know what I mean? I just want to see his return to a wee bit slick, swashbuckling. I've not seen that for a while.
We've not seen any of that, George.
That's what I mean. We need to see that again, you know what I mean? And by the way, I was in a bit of a down. I seen Davis is on the bench. I was like, why is he on the bench?
Well, to be fair, I mean, I've been critical of Lundstrom, but the last two games he played, he's done okay, yeah?
He's done all right. He's still no Stephen Davis. He never will be.
No, not at the moment, no.
But I think Armed Forces Day, we've got to show up for the troops I'm talking about. So let's put on a show by the day and let's win. And I'm going to up my score from 2-1 to 3-1.
All right, okay. I'm going for 2-0 Fox.
Oh, very good. Well, that'll do me fine if that's the score, mate. I think it'll be a lot closer than that. I think it'll be there'll be one goal in it, and hopefully it's for Rangers. It's been a strange league this year, Ox. I mean, who would have bet the first round of games that Hearts would be sitting at the top of the league at the present time? It's just a weird start to the season where the two bigger clubs haven't played well, and Hearts, after being promoted and sitting at the top of the league, is that right?
Aye, that's correct.
Aye, what a strange season. Anyway,
the bookies have got us 2-5, mate. 2-5 to win the game, mate.
Aye, but the bookies only go on the strength of money on the opposition, mate. So I don't think we deserve to be as far odds on as 2-5 on. I think it's a kind of 45-5-4 game today, to be honest with you.
There you go. George, what do you make of the team, mate?
I think the team's all right, man, but I'm glad to see Patterson's in, because I don't think Tavernier's been up to it recently. Sorry about that, Fox. You know what I mean, but I'm just, I thought anyway, it's just not. I thought last week he was atrocious, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It was like, it just wasn't Tav. And as you said earlier on, there's something missing. There's just something missing. I just don't know what it is. Is it because of Hingway? Is it because we get knocked out with Hingway? What do you call that? Well, Malmo. Is it a confidence thing? But you'd think wanting to win the league this year and be because we're champions, that'd be enough incentive why we to go ahead and win the games.
Aye, well, listen, George, there's something missing, whether something been missing, whether it's the personnel, form, confidence, tactics, fitness. You don't know, or a combination of everything. You know, it's just not happening because
exactly.
We're very honest on here. we critique the performances and give an honest point of view. We've not been great, but hopefully this is the day we turn it round, brother.
That's that problem, man. You better believe it, man. I just want to see, but I'm confident we're going to win the day. But during the week I wasn't. But see now, I've read the ball in my own house, and I'm like to myself, we're going to win. We're going to win.
Andrew, I hope he's right.
Champion.
Yeah, absolutely. George, I hope you're absolutely spot on, mate. As I said, I said it'll be an open game. I think there's going to be goals. I'm going for a 3-2 Rangers.
That's tight.
Oh, bet again. What are you thinking, Ozzy? What's your thinking?
Well, I'm thinking either a 2-1 or a 1-0.
A bridge man.
Aye.
Let's hope we shock everybody and just rattle 5 by them.
Well said, Foxy, boy. Well said, Foxy, boy.
I hope you're right, Fox. Hope you're right.
Aye, defo.
I want the 3 points, so, George, but I want a decent performance, you know.
That's it. I want a performance that shows that we're champions of this league. And anyway, in order to get into for it was just a wee dull patch, and I'm talking about now, and that's us back on form again.
Do you think...
Sit up and take notice, by the way. That's the real Rangers. No that other division that was playing like the weeks before, man. It wasn't the games, but that wasn't the Rangers, and I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And you come
all the games from start to finish.
Do you think the introductions of some of the new players this season has caused a wee bit of disruption in the dressing room?
Without a shadow of doubt.
Scotty Arfield was a big player for us last year.
Aye.
He's fell out the picture, and I think he was a popular player amongst the other players.
Leader.
I like them.
Where we're seeing players like McGregor being taken out for McLaughlin. I know McLaughlin's been there, but it's a change of the personnel. The difference between putting Lundstrom in and taking Davis out, as I said, Scotty Wright missing. Maybe I would just a wee bit of, you know what like players are, mate. Do you like playing with your favourite players, you know?
I know, but getting players on the parts like a pot of soup, mate. You've got all the different ingredients. By the time you're finished, it should still be right, George, shouldn't it?
Bang on the money, mate. Well said. I like that one.
You know, it doesn't matter.
It should be. I know.
You know, the professionals.
I mean, look, exactly, the professional footballers, baby. You know what I mean? See this? They can only some can only play 1 game a week. I'm dumbfounded by that. I'm like, 1 game a week and you're a professional footballer. I find that laughing.
I mean, this time last year, Ox, when we were playing well, there was hardly any upset in the side at all. I know COVID's been a big part of it this year, but the constant, I mean, football's about good partnerships for me. Your centre-back partnership must work well and be steady. Your midfield the same and your strikers up front. When you've got settled partnerships in through the spine of the team, I think that makes a big difference to how a team performs.
Well, good thoughts, Fox. Good thoughts, but I'll be interested. So, we'll see how it blends. I'm actually, I don't mean they hurt me, the guy, but I'm actually glad that Ruth is on the bench and Fashion Sakala coming on after, say, an hour brings a lot of pace to your attack, George. Yeah?
Definitely does, baby. The boys get pace in abundance, let's be honest about it, baby, you know what I mean? And he's due to start scoring goals, let's be honest about it. It's just the boy's just no fun for him, right, man, you know what I mean? But surely it's got to come. It's got to come, you know what I mean? Ruth just, at times with Ruth doesn't look as if he's that bothered, doesn't he?
No, but just, that's the way he plays.
You're running after the ball.
Aye. You know, but if he scores goals, it's all forgotten about, isn't it?
He is a goal scorer, but this year, man, he's not been that clever, really, has he?
Is he the top scorer at Ibrox just now?
I believe he will be, Fox. You know, we've not scored that many, you know what I mean?
He scored 4.
I think Alan McGregor's third in the list. You know. Aye, this is
Oh.
yes, mate.
Can I come in just for a wee thing? Did yourselves or the panel think that Gerrard seems to think that everything's okay at the minute at the club and the way we're playing, coming from his interviews?
No, I think my opinion is that Gerrard knows that we're not playing well, but he'll not throw the players under a bus. Fox?
No, he kind of attempted to throw the board under it, but you know, when he said that he had no money for transfers, I think what's the matter with him is, mate, he knows the club has to move forward, and not having the funds available at this time is kind of holding his back. But we've tried through bringing in free transfers to bulk up the squad with some decent players, like Bakuna, etc., and Lundstrom. But we know that there's no much difference between a couple of £1 million player and your run-of-the-mill average player. So if you're looking for quality now, you're talking in the range of what we paid for Kent, £7 and £8 million, which we don't have the funds to do at the present time.
Well, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. We're going to go and get ready for the football. Thanks to Andy for Leeds, who had a bit of background noise. We'll catch up with Andy soon. Thanks to the other Andy for Crookston. Thanks to Aussie. Always great to have your own Aussie. And of course, the one and only George VK. Last word to you, Fox.
Well, I hope everybody enjoys the ball game. Hope the Armed Forces Day goes well. The boys all enjoy the game. We get a result, and most importantly, leave this part of the first round of games top of the league.
Here. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, everybody. Enjoy the game. Take it away, old school boy.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141?
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard. We've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Successful team in football. he was roaring from the stands that I broke.